I just want to be fully respectful, because you think about folks like that, just they're never looking back. They're going, okay, I'm going to move forward. I'm never looking back. I mean, VA doesn't apply to me. Home loan, no. My GI Bill, no. They're just moving, moving, moving. But they don't realize that there's a process in place. Again, at least they could come right back in and get just that one last look at this and go, yeah. And when it comes to health, 100%. You don't go to the board, by the way, for the health. You go to the hospital. You get the health care that you're entitled to. Okay, so no board for that. If you have healthcare concerns, the ones that we're talking about attributable to that war, then you don't have to go to no board. All you have to do is get a copy of your DD 214 with your other than honorable, and get your butt over to a community-based outpatient clinic or a healthcare system. Get in there, get your ID card, and ask to be put on a team and request to see a patient-aligned care team doctor. I have complaints about what I'm feeling in my body that may be attributable to that war. Just like that, 1, 2, 3. And I've met veterans that had no earthly idea that what they're dealing with is attributable to that war. I have a good connection down here in South Florida or Central Florida that was suffering gastrointestinal issue, and it turned out a very sad end. But no man left behind, and we're getting close. 30 years downstream, we're getting very old, and we don't want to be misunderstood.
Right,
We don't
right.
want any of us to be misunderstood. Now, and I say it kindly, sir. Am I saying it kindly, Kevin? I don't want to. We don't want to be misunderstood. Please don't misunderstand me. Allow me, seek first to understand me, then be understood. But let's play that through. Let's not make assumptions, and let's not throw darts or guess. Let's just walk down this process. It's cool, right?
That's awesome. That is, I mean, that is mind blowing that a veteran, even if they were dishonorably or whatever, as long as they were there, they still get the health care.
They still get the health care. They
Wow.
still get the health care. Yep, yep, yep.
Fantastic.
Now, dishonorable, a little bit different. A general,
Right.
other than honorable, is the ones that they're
Right.
looking real closely at.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's just say that some ensign, got you court-martialed because, after 8 watches back to back, you fell asleep against the whistle. Come on, you're not a robot. You're a man. You know,
Right.
you're supposed to fall out. Or if you're an infantryman and you fell asleep against a rock in the desert after back to back, oh man, the hoorah and all that, yeah, but no, physiologically, yeah, you're a bad dude now, but no, 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 you're a man or you're a woman. No, no, please connect them to me.
I will.
It, and that's the do. Those are the big block of do's. Plan your work, then work your plan. Plan your work, then work your plan. So all about this, need a little bit of a plan. I'll be happy to help anybody uh, 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 on the side. I will work with anybody at all. Your spouse is asking, bring her in, bring him in. I've seen spouses do the heavy lifting in this business. Spouses kill it. They kill it because they get it. They understand. They know, because the thing is, when we were off running around, our spouses were dealing with it, processes and procedures.
Right.
you know, what's
Right.
the rules, honey? I don't know. Read that freaking book. I got to go fight a war. They were dealing with it. And they know it. And when you show spouse, okay, va.gov, the spouse will go, all right, you're saying this is the rules. Don't don't WTF me now. I will come down to Orlando and put some foot. But just okay, we good. Just follow this. Just follow this. And I know I anticipate challenges on the West Coast, but you know what? I'm in it to win it. That doctor, Kevin, that doctor should have offered you the 4Ds. I got it in documentation. Diagnose, document. Documentation is 72 hours after you see the doctor. You're my healthy vet. The blue button. Those notes should be in there. Get them, man. Get on their butt. Don't give them a minute. Diagnose, document, discover. So you're learning, right? So a clinician's going to bring to your attention, or a specialty care doctor is going to bring to your attention. they're going to bring stuff to your attention that you may have not known about in this science. They bring it to your attention. Then when they bring it to your attention, you disseminate. It's the other day. I hate using this multiple syllable words, but I had to I had to throw it in there, man. But you disseminate. And you go, well, what am I disseminating, Jimmy? I'm supposed to be receiving. Well, you're disseminating by going back to your patient aligned care team, and you're going, you know what? I was just referred to the environmental health clinician, and he or she told me that there's an issue with depleted uranium, and that some of my complaints revolve around these chronic multi-symptom illnesses. That nurse, your primary doctor, is going to go, oh, really? Interesting. I sure would hate to be that doctor because that doctor just missed this. I'd hate to be that doctor. I have found that after you use that secure messaging, all of a sudden these first level doctors and nurses start getting really smart about Gulf War illness. I'm sorry, chronic multi-symptom illness. They start getting like, look, a month ago you wouldn't give me the time of day. Now you're a pro in this. What happened? That little secure message that you put out there, and that kind of, because nobody wants to be caught short. Nobody wants to be caught short saying, "Oh, I didn't know anything about it." Also, the way that you disseminate is you put it in your compensation and pay claim. Once you learn the terms, once you learn the lingo, once you understand what's happening in your body, don't guess, drill for it. Give me those answers. What does that mean? What is neurological? What is chronic fatigue syndrome? How does it affect the human body? What can I expect? Could that lead to Parkinson's? Could it lead to Lou Gehrig's? What should I expect? Do my kids have something to worry about? Damn it, talk to me. Talk to me. I demand it, man. Put it in your secure messaging. That's the dissemination part. You bring it right back so that you understand, they understand that you understand. When they understand that you understand, your relationship with your VA, Veterans Health Administration folks, it's going to change, man. You're not just going in there raising hell. You're going in there talking facts. You're talking about your valuable health. And when you change it like that, not like I'm going to kick your butt when I come in here, but I need answers. You need to explain this to me. That's what I'm entitled to. Does that make a little bit of sense, Kevin?
Yeah, it does. But what about the veterans that actually also have outside doctors? How do you inform them?
I, there you go again, man. You're a rock star. That's good. And this is the challenge with outside doctors. Um, First things first, if they have electronic health records, get copies, get them uploaded into your VA healthcare units. It's your VA health records. That's the most important things. And would entertain this for me. If you're intending to put in a compensation and pay claim, it needs to be in your VA records anyway. You
Correct.
don't get that. You don't get a claim adjudicated until your CMP doctor has a copy of what the outside person wrote. Okay, so I get it. There's still people that work. There's still Gulf War veterans, Desert Shield, Desert Storm that work. They may have civilian doctors that they know and trust. Good, but you get that information plowed into your VA records. Now, I would not take on the challenge of educating an outside doctor. I will print some of this material and leave them there. I've had a neurologist, high-ranking neurologist here in Orlando. I'll give you a long-ass story, teeny tiny. One of the highest-ranking neurologists in Orlando. I mean, by name, I knew as soon as I got community care, I got sent to him. And what are the rules with Mission Act? And I hope I'm not talking something strange here, but in Mission Act, which is a law that was passed down through Congress, that says that if you as a veteran cannot be seen in 30 days, you're talking
Right.
about
You
stuff
go
that's been
outside
hanging out here
doctor.
for you. That's right. You get outside doctor. My neurologist was going on vacation. He told me, "Hey, Jimmy, I'm going on vacation." Coolest guy in the world. Coolest guy. He says, doctor, I obviously you need that vacation. This guy was like, man, he's a trooper. This is a VA doctor that's at work at 0600. There's nobody there. The VA police are having coffee. There's no. This guy's in his office, man. And you at 0600, you see a VA neurologist at specialty care level. He said, Jimmy, I got to take a vacation right when we were supposed to have a consultation. I'm going to send you to community. I go out to community. Great neurologist stares me in the face and he says, okay, well, sir, we're going to start with a Lyme disease test. It's a neurologist. He's going to take him 12 months to process me all the way till we get to sarin on the battlefield and
Right.
DEET and pyristamine bromide, little white pill. So I don't suggest that you decline the community. Take it. Go out there, talk to them, learn, share information. But at the end of the day, seriously weigh, okay, where am I taking all this? I know I'm really giving up on the VA, but I am going to make this claim. I need to make these claims because you know what are the hardships like? The hardships of living with chronic multi-symptom illnesses. I don't know about you. I couldn't keep working. I became extremely anxious. I had a bunch of issues. I just was no good for traditional, go out the door, get in my car. I was getting in my car, driving a quarter mile from here and falling asleep at the red light. People honking at me. And I said, okay, I have a fatigue issue because I
Yeah.
slept. I had dinner last night. I feel not terrible, but I know something's on me, and you go to work and you try to run behind a computer, assuming that's maybe answer some phones or God forbid drive a vehicle or run a crew or run wires or whatever. I mean, it gets very tough. Maybe you keep moving. I find that sometimes when I keep moving it's helpful, but those are hardships. We live with these hardships, 30 years post deployment. Just think about where you're really at. Talk to your spouse or talk to your friends or talk to those that you know and trust. Talk to those that you know and trust and say, where am I really at? Because I know there's still a lot of bravo in us, and a lot of us don't want to give up. Well, it's not giving up. This is part of the process is to, be taken care of. And let's just say that you are kicking ass right now and you're 55 years old. Good for you. But the thing is, you turn 65, 70 and your corporate medical benefits are gone. What are you going to do? Walk into the VA then and say, hey, hi, I'm Jim. I'm veteran of the 1990-1991 Persian Gulf War, Desert Shield, Desert Storm, and my stomach is screwed up. And you're like, all right, well, where you been, Jimmy? I mean, you're 70 years old. It's not a disqualifier. It just becomes more difficult,
Right.
right? Doesn't it make
Right.
sense?
I understand that. Yeah,
Get her
completely
done.
understand it.
Yeah, get it done now. I mean, the thing is look, this is what's happening now. We've had 80 senators just raise hell in Congress about Gulf War related health conditions. We just got 3 presumptives added to us. We have probably the most robust research in the industry going on right now, VA and DOD. Remove the word industry, Veterans Administration research and DOD research right now. The iron is hot right now. If this stuff applies to you, get her done. I know you may be busy. I got to work, Jimmy. I got to take care of my family. I got to mow the lawn. I got stuff to do. Placeholder. Get in there. Get established with the VA. Get you a VA card. See your primary. Say, I've got these concerns. I'm a little bit busy now. That's perfectly fine. I'm busy now, but I want to come in and mitigate, deal with
Right.
these problems. Right? Just do something. Just don't ignore it. Just don't ignore it. Can't ignore it, man. You cannot ignore it, especially if some of this stuff is kicking you in the head. And depending on where you're at, some of us get kicked a little bit harder than others. I've seen some Gulf War veterans that are just ambulatory. That's the best you can get from them.
Right.
Someone like me and Kevin, we got a little fire. We're like, oh, we're gonna advocate. We're gonna
Yeah, I'm
help
still
because we
pissed.
know that's still pissed. But we're gonna transform any sort of
it
letdown to mojo.
and everything that we're talking about will be up on the website, and we will put it even up on Facebook. We will get it out there as much visibility as possible, and I'll make sure that everybody has your email address if they need to talk to you and everything. I
Yes,
will
sir.
not put
Yes,
your
sir.
phone number out there because I
uh,
accidentally did that on a Facebook Live,
uh,
and I had a lot of people call me. So,
oh, really?
yeah,
I'd still talk.
I
I'd
was
do the
so
best.
excited. You know, I was pumped
Yeah.
up talking. I was like, "Here, just call this number."
Yeah. It's all good. When it comes down to it, what we're doing is the center of gravity. So, But those 4 Ds, remember, diagnose, remember, plan your work and work your plan. You expect the diagnosis, you're documenting. So you do have to do multiple things there. You're discovering, so you're listening. What are they telling you? Does that make sense? Explain that to me, and then disseminate. You got to get it. Remember, the dissemination part is a little bit tougher because you got to go back and tell the people that you first encountered at the VA what specialty care is giving you. And then if you're going to do that claim for benefits, you're going to basically put these ideas and thoughts that you've learned in
And believe it or
discovery
not,
into your,
well, my congressman, I'll tell you, say who it is, Kevin Brady. The
okay.
When I was talking to the head VA rep, she was like,
Mm-hmm.
secure messaging. That's the best paper trail you can have. They can't forget it. Everybody sees it. And if they miss something, you can go back and say, well, I told you this. So you're right on that. Secure
Thank
messaging
you.
is one of the key things.
Thank you. Thank you. And if you're listening to this, me and Kevin, we're both advocates. If you have questions about how to get the premium account, DS level log on, etc., we will help you there. But you need a web browser. You need authoritative web browsers, what they call them. You can't. But these phones are these droids and these iPhones can get you on there.
Oh, yeah.
Tablets can get you on there, and of course, a little laptop can get you on there. And I work behind a little Apple laptop, and they'll get you on there. Back in early days, some of these web browsers weren't authoritative enough because there's a great deal of security going on, as you can imagine. There's a
Right.
lot of back office security, but if you're not secure messaging, you if you're not secure messaging, you can't you can't hold the other end their feet to the fire
Right.
all the way, and if you're just not getting the respect for what you're complaining about, this could be the small little thing that's stopping you. And like Kevin, I mean, it's a beautiful term, paper trail.
Yep.
And it's like information permanency. Paper trail, it's like it never goes away. It's in the system. People they will do statistics on your secure messaging. They will give kudos to those clinicians that are quick to respond. Wait, what did you learn from Jimmy? What did you learn from Kevin? Well, I learned that veterans from that era are hurting, and they haven't been heard, and they really are not getting the respect. That's the truth. That's the truth. Call it what it is. It's 30 years. We don't have to
Correct.
hold back. We don't have to hold back, folks. We don't
No.
have to hold back. It's 30 years, man. If you need a paper trail, you need a paper trail. I do it every time. I'm just going up, and I will get into a little complementary alternative medicine stuff. But even then, I go see an acupuncture. I'll say, hey, I'm coming. Just want to remind you that my full body pain is fibromyalgia based, and that's neurological pain and not rheumatological pain. And then I go let them go figure that crap out. And then when I get there, we have a good, robust conversation about that. Yeah. Well, what happened? Why is it that way, Jimmy? Because we were exposed to sarin. What's that? Well, imagine rat poison. Go spray a rat or roach poison, cockroach. Cockroach. Texans know what cockroaches are.
Right.
Floridians know what cockroaches are. I know some people that could have no idea. What the hell is a cockroach? Well, it's a bug. And you spray, you spray enough. You got to spray a lot of juice
A
on them, a lot of
lot.
bug juice, a lot. They don't go down easy. I'll give you a trick though, Kevin. I'll give you a trick. Spray Simply Green on them, man. That is like the sarin for cockroaches, man. That'll put them out, and it's cheaper than
I
Raid.
like
And when
hairspray.
you, ooh, you burn the place up, dude. Or your wife might. Yeah, hairspray is expensive, man. But yeah, hairspray will do it. But think about neurotoxins. Neurotoxins. These are
Right.
neurotoxins to a bug, and essentially, when you look at it, I mean, we're just doing simplification, compare and contrast. We were exposed to a neurotoxin called sarin, and our central nervous system, depending on our genetic disposition, it determines on how bad it was for us, and not just sarin. I remember the whole list of anthrax, carc paint, noise, stress, heat, burn pits, sandstorms.
Right. Yeah, I know.
It's like, and the thing is like, please give me the respect. I was there. Like I said, I raised my right hand. I was on the desert. What were you doing in 1990, 1991, besides picking your nose and eating lollipops and, junior and in college or high school or whatever, so give me the respect. I was there. I did the work. I deployed. So three things. This captures your trajectory. Three things that a veteran, if this resonates with you. Hi, my name is Jimmy. I'm a veteran of 1990, 1991 Gulf War. I read the military health and your military exposures in your health newsletter. There's four of them on the VA website. I read them. You know what? I think that resonates with me. I'm feeling some of those effects. I think that's talking to me. I think that I have some health problems that they've identified there in that newsletter. So that's the first things first, is clearly bring just a hard right to your that's right to your nurse, your patient aligned care teams called a PACT, or your PCT, your primary care doctor,
Right.
and a secure message before you even go. Right? That's number one. There's only three steps. Number two, you're asking for specialty care or expecting a specialty care referral once you're bringing this stuff out properly. You're listening for this. What's specialty care, Jimmy? Pulmonary medicine, neurology, rheumatology, gastroenterology. These are the areas that are related to our complaints, our chronic multi-symptom illnesses, the presumptives. They really are. And if you will, the science, sometimes you got to really bend with it, because you may not be as keen on something that's neurologically impacting how it could have caused that effect. So let me say that a little bit different way. If you happen to take negligible amounts of sarin on the battlefield, a little bit of roach poison, whatever, and all of a sudden it's causing this little genetic imbalance or this systematic imbalance, and it's causing you headaches, for example, bad headaches, years of bad headaches, ibuprofen 600s. You don't know. To me, it's a headache. I go to CVS, Walgreens, and I get ibuprofen, whatever. But if you got to take a moment. Are these headaches attributable to my service? I don't know. You don't know. Your primary care doctor probably has no clue. You need to see a specialist. You need to see a neurologist.
That's a good point.
It's going to be difficult.
Yep.
Hey,
Right.
I
Very
mean,
good point.
ABC 1 2 3. I mean, come on. Yes, thank you, Kevin. And what you're and what we want to drive as our, if we're not getting that direct referral, then I'm going to get in the driver's seat. I'm going to strap the seatbelt across, but grab the wheel firmly, and I'm driving. When I drive, I tend to look deep in traffic to see trends. Then I look closer to see what's happening in front of me. I look to my sides, I look at my gauges, and then I do it again. I look deep, I look close, and I look to my sides, and I do it again, and I drive for hundreds of miles. That's how I drive a car. I'm in charge, I'm in control. Okay, so you're not helping me, I'm taking control. I'm getting in the seat. What I'm going to do is, on the sheet, Kevin, if you'll look up environmental health clinicians, there should be a hyperlink to these folks. Environmental health coordinators, HCP, public health.va.gov, exposures coordinators. Down on the, I think the second page, I think. Second page. I think, yeah, bottom of second page on there are the environmental health clinicians to the entire nation. Where you're going to do their email and their phone number is listed in there. You're going to send them an email. You're going to call them, and then you're going to send to your primary care team. In response to your non-responsiveness, have called the environmental health coordinator for Houston, Dallas, Miami, wherever you're at. Call them. Hi, you tell them the same thing. I'm a veteran of the Gulf War, Desert Shield, Desert Storm, 1990, 1991. Got this tummy ache. I want to see you. I'm not getting any help. Yes, I've completed my Gulf War illness and my burn pit registry health exam. I want to see you. And you did. You put it in secure messaging. Push the button.
Wow.
Okay.
Yep.
Hey,
It's just, it's amazing. There's a lot out there. A lot of people don't know. This is great information.
thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. I mean, it's no, just think about the chill tasting. Well, let me see, if you take these pills, that little tummy, yeah, I haven't had a tummy ache for 30 years. I haven't had a headache that's lasted, 10 years. You will go around and round with these clinicians until you freaking just kick it. And we're not having that. We're not having it is disrespectful to treat any service member, any veteran, any other way than I'm here to help, and this is what you should do.
Right.
And it's disrespectful that one should have to go to all these steps in order to get what was promised to you.
Damn right.
Crying, crying shame.
It
It's a
is.
crying shame. But we're gonna fix it. Oh, we're gonna fix it. We're gonna fix this. Watch. One veteran at a time. We're gonna fix it.
Yeah, that's
I have a
awesome.
different. Hey, I have a little bit different term about fixing. If you the foxtrot word, if you play with a couple of different words, I am going to fix this though, and that is on our list. It's a hyperlink to all of the coordinators. Hit your state, their phone number, and their email, and you cut right to them. But it's your responsibility to let that primary team know. By the way, I am bringing this to the attention, my health concerns to the attention of this health coordinator. And and please tell me or Kevin, when you see them jump through hoops to bring you back and reevaluate, because no clinician wants to be caught short.
All
That
right.
health coordinator's at that coordinator at specialty care level is going to go, oh, what's your experience? Where you been? What have you been experiencing all up until you made that appointment with me? I'm very curious. That's why get that registry done. That's plan your work and work your plan. Get the registries done. That way there's nothing that, well, we never heard from him, or he didn't really say that. He said Gulf War illness. We didn't know what that was. Or Gulf War syndrome. That has, don't give them that. Do what you're supposed to be doing. The playbook is what we're supposed to be doing. We follow the playbook. The .va.gov says this is what you do in order to bring these health considerations to our attention. Okay. So, can I transition here a little bit?
Yep.
All right, sir. War Related Illness and Injury Study Center, RISC, War Related Illness and Injury Study Center. There's only 3 of them in the nation. They're run by the Veterans Administration. There's one in DC, there's one in New Jersey, and there's one in Palo Alto, California. So the one that you're closest to, the one that you would go to. I suggest that once you've established a foothold of respect for what you're dealing with. And I'm just saying, if you just get to that environmental health clinician or that neurologist or that pulmonary doctor, that specialty care, and they're working with you and they're alerting, they're communicating with you that there's something going on right then and there. Have a referral to the risk. Now, get this, your primary care team is responsible for the referral to the risk. Are they good at that? No. I'll tell you straight up. Do they suck at that? Yes, they suck at that. Is it going to be a challenge for them? Yes. Put it in secure messaging. I want to go to the risk. War Related Illness and Injury Study Center. I've understood that there's lately, because of COVID, they've been doing these a little bit different. They may do these virtually. Et cetera, et cetera. When I went to the risk in DC, I was there for a week. They put you up, they put your wife up, they pay for the full flight, they pay for food, they pay for ground transportation, Uber, everything is funded. It's called the War Related Illness and Injury Study Center, as the name implies. They are basically doing research work. They're studying what's going on. Part of it is to help you today. Part of it is so that we don't do this stupid crap in the battlefield down the road, like blowing up sarin close to soldiers and
Right.
service members. Okay. Yeah. So it's very, very, very important. So the risk is very important. Also, from an evidentiary or evidence standpoint, think about this more evidence. So I want you to be thinking, especially for those that have been out there working on this information for a long time. We're developing evidence, and think about everything that I've shared with you and everything that Kevin shared with you. We're developing evidence. We're building a pyramid. The flat platform is solid, and we're building step after step after step. So when we get to the final pieces of this, we can follow the science. Remember the analogy about the pine tree. If you grow up in Georgia around pine trees, you're going to have pine pollen in your DNA. If your body has been injured by these chronic multi-symptom illnesses, there's going to be evidence in your body. Let that science speak for itself. That's extremely important. Extremely important. Which takes us, I'd mentioned in the past that the Veterans Administration has community-based outpatient clinics. This is what most of us deal with. Even in metropolitan areas, there'll be small clinics. There are 23 veteran integrated service networks in the United States. There's only 23, but think about this. The Veterans Administration, the VA, Victor Alpha, and that's not Virginia, has over 400,000 plus employees. 400,000 employees divided out between, of course, their headquarters, where the secretary operates out of, and 23 veteran integrated service networks. Those veteran integrated service networks can further be broken down into hundreds of community-based outpatient clinics. So you may live somewhere where you go down the street, it's very convenient to you, but you're reporting to a CBOC, a community-based outpatient clinic. Just know what level you're operating at, because you're not going to find environmental health clinicians hanging out at the CBOC. They're going to be up at the healthcare centers. And up at the healthcare centers is maybe where you want to take a focus at. When you call them, you'll know. Sometimes they come down to the CBOX if you made an appointment to see you. Sometimes you may have to jump in a car. They may say, well, if you come up here, I can see you next Monday. If you wait for me to come down here, it's going to take a month, or right at 29 days, right before the community thing kicks in. But know this, it's very important. We as veterans, even seasoned veterans, don't realize that the Veterans Administration has three divisions. There are the VHA, Victor Hotel Alpha, Veterans Health Administration. That's what we know. Those are the hospitals, the CBOCs, the healthcare systems, and the community-based outpatient clinics. They also have the Veterans Benefits Administration, which is more in the cloud. You don't pretty much see those folks. VBA, Veterans Victor Bravo Alpha, Veterans Benefits Administration. And there's a third division. This is the one that we're trying to stay out of. It's called the NCA, National Cemetery Administration. Now, you know, humongous, humongous bureaucracy. They're humongous, huge budgets, a lot of moving parts, not really something you want to even hear, but just understand. If you're talking to benefits, your VBA. If you're talking to healthcare, VHA. The last one we won't even piddle with.
And just, man, I tell you what, this is probably one of the most informative I've heard so far about an advocate that actually could come on and tell the veterans that are listening here, or people's spouses of veterans, or kids, sons or daughters. They need to hear this so that way they understand.
Yes. And man, Kevin, man, kudos to you, man. I'm gonna pop you another salute there, sir, because I tell you what, man, you've already knocked my socks off a few times, and this man is on point. Just know that for what we call multi-generational, what researchers call multi-generational, are our children. And we start talking about a little, very serious topics: stillborns, birth defects, neurological challenge, gastrointestinal challenges with our children today. These are all things that are percolating in research, and they are coming. So the cries have been out there for years now for multi-generational. Those cries are being heard. They've gone to the Secretary of the Veterans Administration, and they're going to act on it. Okay,
that is fantastic.
I mean, you heard it here.
Yes, I love it.
No
fantastic.
joke. And we have our blood right here. My kids. I have children, and my children have challenges across this same spectrum. They really do, and it's frustrating. But we're talking about it. It's at this point, it's at that level, but it's coming. It is coming. So I'm going to go a little philosophical. The automatic things you do are basically those things that keep you from doing the better things that you need to do. Let's say that one more time. The automatic things that you do are basically those things that keep you from doing the better things you need to do. Bill Murray said that, a comedian.
I actually like that.
It kind of, when I first picked that up, I was like, this guy's a comedian.
Especially for a comedian to say it.
Especially for a comedian to say it. If Bill Murray heard us, he's like, hey, man, what are you trying to say about comedian? He probably get in our business. But it is, we become, because of things that we settle into, maybe our age, maybe what we do, maybe our lives, maybe our family, our spouses, our children. We get to do a lot of automatic stuff but it's keeping us from doing better things. We got to break that mold. Got to break that mold, is what he's saying. I want to reiterate, other than honorable discharges, you're still entitled to medical care, period. VA. Okay. Get to us. Get to us. We'll help. It is a fair expectation to have quality of life, to include complementary alternative medicine like chiropractic and acupuncture. Now, before you whittle me down here, I know there's a between East Coast and West Coast, this thing really gets liquefied. But if you start thinking about chronic fatigue syndrome, irritable bowel syndrome, and fibromyalgia, the modalities in chiropractic and acupuncture make a lot of sense, whether it's in the VA or in community. Just makes a lot of sense. Keep that in mind. Just to share, here in Orlando, Florida, I have a chiropractor on my team, on my patient aligned care team, and I have an acupuncturist on my patient aligned care team. I also do Tai Chi and yoga, and I also get prescribed supplements. Instead of drugs, I get prescribed supplements, vitamins, good vitamins, prescribed by the VA. Okay. I'll move on from that. I've already made a distinction between GWI and GWS. In any case, the GWI is a research term. Just want to just kind of bring that to your attention, and also know that the authority for research is clinicaltrials.gov. It's on the paperwork, Kevin.
Right.
Clinicaltrials.gov. Any research, so that's the third wheel in what we do. Once our patient aligned care team is delivering, once we're comfortable with our specialty care intervention, and now you're kind of just waiting for appointments, maybe you're building a little bit more evidence. Research, something to think about. Research. Just to share with you, one must be of relative health to participate in research. Just kind of unpackage that a little bit. You must be able, one must be able to get through inclusionary and exclusionary criteria. There's some conditions. I'll give an example. Like, I have high blood pressure. That's not exclusionary. Diabetes and some research could be exclusionary for some studies. So just keep in mind, research is not a per se a benefit or an obligation. Research is something participative and voluntary. We participate and volunteer for research. What I've learned in research and working for a researcher and being close to research. Now, let me say this: Orlando, Florida, no research. Orlando, no, our VA here does not have research. None, zero. It's a pretty big community, big hospital, no research. I had to drive 200 miles to the south to Miami VA, where full on clinical research, Gulf Gulf War illness. So here we can use that term, Gulf War illness research, full on. Dr. Klimas, Nova Southeastern University, and she has duties and adjunct responsibilities over at the Miami VA. So kind of cool to know and understand. Also know that the folks behind the research, where the money's coming from, Veterans Administration, DOD. In the DOD, it's not just DOD, because the DOD is a warfighter organization, not the Pentagon, but the Congressionally Directed Medical Research Program. They're out of Dietrich, Maryland. Congressionally Directed Medical Research Program, Charlie Delta Mike Romeo Papa. And that's grant money. The grant that Dr. Klimas is doing her Gulf War illness research was granted by the DOD CDMRP. Moving forward, we're in a consortia called the Gulf War Illness Trials Intervention Consortia, GWICTIC. Long ass freaking acronym, but it's a
Right.
good acronym. It's nuts, and it's multi-site. We are actually spread out from here. We have remote sites in Boston, we have New Jersey, we have Palo Alto, California, and we may be able to bring on Houston as a remote site. The VA at Houston, there's some clinicians, there's some ranking clinicians that come from the risk area that are helping us out. We're hoping to make that a remote site, which means that some of the research may become available to a Gulf War veteran in that region,
Oh, that'd be
which
cool.
yeah, I know. It's like, in that regard, Gulf War illness research west of the Missouri is just like, why is it? I mean, it's like,
Right.
first,
Right.
why? Why, Jimmy? Why can't I do anything Gulf War related? I mean, we have Killeen, Texas, Fort Hood, Texas, home of the freaking tank. I mean, come on, you know. No, it just ticks me off. Freaking tanks. Give me a break.
Oh, I got to salute
I
you on
mean,
that one.
thank you. I mean, you know what? I'm going to accuse you of gatekeeping if you're not respecting Texas for tanks. And we know tanks fought the war.
Right.
We know that tank rounds are depleted uranium. I said it. Come get me. I'm right here in Orlando. Come get me. I'll have that argument with you. I'll lock my doors tonight too.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, in case somebody takes that. Moving forward, we, Nova Southeastern University, in connection with Miami VA, have successfully launched virtual research. Very, very important. Very important, Kevin. Virtual research. So it's supplement based. So supplements. So nutraceuticals, high powered vitamins, if you will. Jimmy, name them. Bacopa, NCA, CoQ10. We're in research studies that are virtual, which means the veteran goes to a lab, a Quest lab, to give blood samples in the community, your community close to home. You call them up, make an appointment, you go. Then we send you study supplements. Now, this could be randomized, double blind, maybe sugar pills, all this stuff. Now, this is research. We send you those in a box. The Quest lab sends everything back critical FedEx same day back to us. Then the veteran gets on a computer and he tells us about how you're feeling. I ate this nutraceutical, this supplement. It made me feel like nothing. It made me feel great. Whatever. We have virtual studies started now. If there's some veterans that are real super hot on the topic, at least want to learn a little bit, we do have one that's close to closing. It's called glutathione versus curcumin. Those are two very high-powered supplements. May still be available to you from a virtual standpoint anywhere in the nation, anywhere in the nation. So, Kevin, if you get some veterans that go, I'm hot on that, I want some poop on that, I will get that. I'll make that happen. I'll
Okay.
get them
Cool. That'd be
the
awesome.
study. Yeah, I'll get them the study information, stuff that, and this is what I suggest as well with these supplements. Take Get the information, get the sheet, and then go take it to your doctor, take it to your primary care doctor, and say, "Hey, look, doc, I am. I've learned about this research, and I understand that it's virtual now, and I can participate. It's out of Nova/Miami VA, and what do you think?"
Yeah, that's great.
That's a yeah, but that's a great paper trail because they go, "What are you talking about?" Well, I'm talking about Gulf War illness, or I'm talking about chronic multi-symptom illnesses, of course, but it's Gulf War illness if it's research. Oh, do you know anything about that, doctor? Do you know about Gulf War illness? Because you told me you didn't know anything about that. I mean, you're treating me as you don't know nothing about that. I'm going to participate in Gulf War illness research with the Miami VA virtually. So
That's
throw
freaking.
that one at them.
I like
Yeah,
that.
throw that one. Hey, you know what? Two could play this little game,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's the
Exactly.
real deal. It's the real deal. I will, you know what? Oh my gosh. Okay. Oh my gosh. So that was that. All research again is on clinicaltrials.gov. That's the authoritative website on all research. VA, CDMRP, National Institutes of Health, NIH, CDC, Centers for Disease Control. Everybody must, as a regulatory requirement, as a regulatory responsibility, list their research on clinicaltrials.gov. It's in our paperwork, and if you're interested as a veteran, and the reason that I put it out there is because research varies. It's different. They have different focuses. Some of them focus on just neurological, some focus on gastrointestinal, some focus on the pain component, some focus on mental health, some focus on just getting a couple vials of blood from you and adding your information to a biorepository to benefit research and all the other veterans that come after us. You just have to read it and understand it and get into it a little bit. It's a little bit of a that starts to push the whole learning curve a little bit.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. I listed rallypoint.com for those of you that are familiar, not familiar. Rally Point is actually the core of Rally Point is actually an employment website. but they've been keen enough to allow veterans to use it as kind of like a Facebook sounding board kind of thing, but with some checks and balances. They're a little bit tighter controls over what's said. There's people that look at closely at the information, good and bad. I post and only post to Rally Point. If you were to go on Rally Point, the hyperlink is here. If you just enter Jimmy Arocho, I've got about 3 years of content out there that revolves around all of this. A lot of links to newspaper ads, a lot of developmental stuff, some little bit of where we've been in the past. If you want to get some history, if you're going, who the hell's this guy?
Oh,
Who
that's
the hell's this
fantastic.
nut? Yeah, yeah. But I posted a lot. You get out there, just take a look. Please just enter my name in there and look at some of the stuff that I've put out there. I think, and I've reached out to even Vietnam era and do the compare and contrast. There's a lot of folks that have come on there, supported me. If you get a minute, support me on there. And what I do is I kind of mirror whenever research comes available. I'll just drop it on there, just be an informative type dude, you know. Something that came up in a previous discussion, Kevin, and I mean, I love what you say and what you do. And there was a mention to veteran service officers, um, that can help advocate, and they're out there in the community. County-based veteran service officers, state-level veteran service officers. Remember, veteran service officers are congressionally directed. They're
Right.
actually paid by Congress to be there. They are our advocates. When you go to them, please remember to bring the presumptives and the chronic multi-symptom illnesses. They do not know anything about research, nor can they represent you in research, because research is not law. Research is just research. And what happens is, think about this. Let's say that a veteran were directed to do some research as an authoritative thing, and the research just didn't work. We suggested you take these supplements, and they gave you a sore tummy, and nothing ever came of it. Well, then the VSOs then have a problem because they got behind something that didn't work, so they can't support research. But what a VSO, veteran service officer, can do, county and state level, what they could do for you, or DoD, or I'm sorry, but the government, federal government level, also VSOs, what they can do is they can help you advocate for your chronic multi-symptom illnesses, chronic fatigue syndrome, irritable bowel syndrome, and fibromyalgia syndrome. And remember that the VA, the Secretary of the VA, put that final placeholder in there. And to undiagnose anything that the Secretary of the VA deems as service connected presumptive, that is also included.
Yeah, because I
And
I totally push for VSO. I push for
yes,
them before I push for anybody else,
yes,
especially trying to do it all by yourself.
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
recommend not. That's just me. I mean,
yes,
people
that's
going
good
to do
advice.
whatever they want,
Yes,
but I push them more than I push anybody else because I've had a fantastic rep.
excellent. Yeah, and that's the challenge. That's the challenge, Kevin. Finding the ones that care and know.
Right,
That's the challenge, because
right,
some of them just go, look, I can't touch that. And the problem is because the veteran walks in leading with a research term, and it's not in their books, it's not in their law. They really technically can't do anything. Now, the smart ones will say, oh, did you mean the presumptive chronic multi-symptom illness associated with Desert Shield, Desert Storm, 1990, 1991? Of course, that's what I meant. Aren't you supposed to read my mind? It's just, yeah.
right.
But that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
I love it, man. That is fantastic. I want to
Let me. I'm just
is
gonna.
get
There
some.
we go.
There you
Look
go.
at that.
I I want to thank you so much for coming on the program. I
Thank you, Kevin.
I mean that was a good history lesson. Exactly. It's exactly what it is. Educational history, everything. I mean, I'm probably going to go back and listen to this about 4 or 5 times just to make sure I got everything down. So when I do talk to vets, I'll be like, "Hey, did you listen to episode?"
Yes. Yeah.
Like you got to
Yeah.
listen to
Yeah.
Jimmy. The guy knows what he's
Hey,
talking about.
I have. Thank you, Kevin. And I mean, you're the tough act to follow. But I always, I'm on the script. I'm on task. I research everything. I cite all of my stuff. I have a website, a name, Bill Murray, my jokes. Come on.
But
I don't. I tell you, I take communications very seriously. I was actually
Right,
in the intelligence field in the Army, and I don't put out Bravo Sierra. I don't put out Bravo Sierra, especially
right.
if you're across, you're across the nation and you're dealing with these hardships and things are tough. You want answers. There's no,
Another thing
you
I would love to do with you,
yes.
not right now, maybe in a month or so, let people start
Hmm.
processing this on the West Coast more than
Hmm.
the East Coast, and people are starting to go through this. If they start really wanting to have questions, I think me and you should do a live on Anchor or any of them and let people come on, ask the questions, and we go through it. Would you be willing to do that?
Kevin, you don't even have to ask.
Yeah. I know,
I'm
but I wanted to
following your
ask.
lead, dude. I'm following your lead. Come on, man. Come
Yeah,
on, man.
this
I'm
is,
following your lead, man.
I want to thank you for reaching out to me. Any new information, please
Yes,
keep me
sir.
apprised to it. I
Yes,
definitely
yes,
think this is fantastic, and the veterans need to know all of this.
yes. And get that list, those hyperlinks, because that's
I
what they
will.
need to chew up. That military exposures in your health is solid gold. It really is, and it's sitting right there on the VA website. It's
Yeah,
just nobody. I mean, the VA website is a pile of papers,
right.
mountains high,
Yeah,
for you to navigate that beast.
anytime I tell the veterans I talk to, they're like, "Well, where do you go to get it?" You go to va.gov. All you gotta do is type in the search button, go for, you know,
Yep,
surveys, burn pit registry, the Gulf War registries.
yep,
All you got to do is type
yep.
it in. I
All
mean,
you
if
gotta do
I
is
can
type it
figure it
in.
out, anybody can figure it out.
Well, you're a sharp dude. You're a sharp dude, and it's it doesn't hurt to have somebody collect this in a way that could focus me on just the center of gravity. I mean, I
Right.
like history. Sometimes I like history. Sometimes I want to be a little confrontational, beat up on some doctors or whatever. But at the end of the day, what moves the ball down the field is just the one, two, three: patient line care team, specialty care team, and then if you can, pay it forward. Get into some research because the
Amen.
research helps us with that code, ICD code, helps the researchers figure out what's going on. They're looking at our blood, they're doing DNA testing on our blood, etc., and we can help others. That the idea is that the ones that come after us, Kevin, will never know how impossible it was.
Right. Right. I agree. I totally agree. You know,
uh, yes,
Jimmy,
sir.
it was a pleasure. I want to thank you
Thank
for
you.
everything that you have said on here. And
Thank you.
and I will tell everybody, since you sent me information, I've been following up. He is telling the truth, guys. Y'all need to pay attention. If
Thank you.
your claims are being denied, you need to listen to this about 4 or 5 times and do what he's saying. If you need help, if you have any questions, if I don't have the answers, I know he will.
Yes, yes,
Definitely. And I
yes.
will send them your way with the email. And then, we'll eventually go live when we get the anchor stuff up and going. And then
Yeah,
I want people to come in and ask questions.
yeah, yeah.
I do. I want people to come in
That's
and
the way
ask
to do it.
questions. I think
Yes,
that'd be fantastic.
and I'm there with you. We'll do it. We'll
Yes,
do it,
sir.
man. We'll do it. Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Well, you got my number. I got yours. I'll talk to you later. Take
Thank
good
you.
care of
Have a great
yourself.
evening.
Yes,
You as
sir.
well. Thank you.
All
Hoorah,
right.
man. You take care.
That's a lot of information. Most of us are going to have to go back and listen to that 2, 3, 4 times maybe. But he's willing to sit down with every veteran out there and help you with filing your claim, help you with more than just filing your claim with your primary care physicians. He really gave a lot of really great information, detailed information. But if you have any questions, you can get a hold of me at www.goforsideffects.wordpress.com. That's the website. Or email me at kevinsimon.goforsideffects.com.